Space Action Podcast! With your hosts, Chris Carson and D.C
Welcome to Space Action Podcast, the official podcast of Space Action Heroes, a webcomic you can find at spaceactionheroes.com. We can't use real music anymore, so I am Chris Carson, and singing the lovely tunes of Star Wars is...
D.C Chama, what's up?
Ba-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum dum da-da-da-dum dum. This movie was really dumb.
I liked it. I liked it.
You loved it?
I didn't love it, but okay. So the whole ramp up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah.
I have been waiting.
What are we talking about this week?
A long time for this moment. My little green friends. Oh, good God! This is the Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise. I keep calling it the Rise of Skyhumper.
We did it, guys.
Joke, but
Skyhumper. We did it. We did 9 movies. Pat yourselves on the back.
Yeah.
You sat through 9 movies.
Yeah.
And this
2 of which were pretty good.
Yep. True.
Pat yourself.
So true.
Pat yourself on the back.
Oh, I love these movies to death. They're my religion. So here's okay. Did you do any sort of warm up for this?
Well, because of the whole the plus, I
Disney Plus.
I can't sit down and watch those goddamn prequels from beginning to end like a normal movie.
Okay.
But I did flip around a bit.
Okay.
And just sort of would put them on and fast forward a bit. And the Attack of the Clones final fight, like out of context, is a fun animated movie fight and stuff like that. So I had a bit of a better appreciation for it watching it like that and not as an actual structured film.
Sure.
But that's about as much as I did. And then the original trilogy is so burned into my brain, I can just close my eyes and watch it in my head. So I didn't bother to watch those again. But that was it. I will not watch The Last Jedi again.
Chris Carson.
You did them all?
I did deep dive. Okay,
Fuck.
and I did episodic order, which I normally never fucking do. And, bitch, I watched Phantom Menace, start to finish. And I have not seen that movie in probably 8-10 years.
Yeah, it's rough.
Are
you getting the what is it, like the new appreciation?
Where people are like, no, it's autistic. If you actually look closely at it. No, not whatsoever. It's a fucking shit show. That movie reminds me of that scene in Dolomite Is My Name, where he's like, I want to have karate in it, and Keegan Michael said karate. I'm watching that because it's been long enough that I don't really remember the films, right? I remember the beats, but not the. Okay, so it starts off with space wizards. I'm like, right up, cool, interesting,
and then
all of a sudden, slave planet, and race. Oh, there's a big race, and this guy's the devil, and he's the bowl cuts intergalactic Jesus. Okay, okay. I don't know what this movie's about.
Yippee!
It seems very important, these themes you're trying to convey. Like, he takes everything very seriously. Every character has, like, dramatic speeches about their constitution.
Something.
But you're like, I don't know who's the main character. What is this movie about?
Who's the main character? What's it about? And he's a philosophy major, Lucas, before he went into film. But I still, like, looking at that from even that lens, I'm like... Are you saying anything
It's
here?
so weird. It's like
Is this a first draft? You just went with it?
I kept saying it's the most expensive student film ever made.
Yeah.
Because no one told him no. I'm like, this is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
So that was fucking Phantom Menace.
And the thing about student films, though, is they suck. Student
Exactly.
films always suck.
Oh, exactly. And no one told him no. And I'm
No
like,
one
this is
told
the
him.
most expensive batshit crap. I almost applaud you for getting this movie made. It's fucking crazy.
And then he did his own course correction. I guess he can't handle critique, because episode 2, he tried so fucking hard to make it seem like Star Wars. Like Star Wars, quote unquote.
Yeah, episode 2.
And it just was even worse.
My only takeaway from that was Bail Organa is totally the Lando of the prequels.
Oh,
he shows up in the
Jimmy
middle.
Smits?
Yeah, and he's not white.
And so it is.
Yeah. And he's kind of he saves the day in the fucking third one.
I guess he gets Yoda.
He gets Yoda and saves Leia.
On Tantive
Twi'lek.
Twi'lek. If you know if it's Twi'lek or Twi'lek, please write
let
us
know.
or please comment.
Trust me, and this is all. There's a preamble up to fucking episode 9.
Into the Rise of Skywalker.
I did, and then 3's 3. I don't think I really fucking got much out of 3.
A vignette series. 3 is very comparable to this one because it's just a series of almost unconnected scenes.
Yes.
Telling, I think, a larger story.
My favorite fucking part was I was watching it, and it's so over dramatic. Like Anakin and Padme are like, if the Jedi find out, you'll be kicked out, and if the Queen finds out, and they're like, I know, we'll keep it secret. I'm like, why? Yeah. You're both two very capable adults. Get new jobs. This galaxy's huge.
Are they like executed if you leave the Jedi
Exactly.
order?
Who gives a shit? They take away your fucking little robe and your braid. Who cares, man?
Oh, we should have opened this
podcast. Got a hot wife and they got a family.
We should have opened this podcast by reciting the Are You Blinded by Love? So beautiful. That whole Shazbot.
That, and I never noticed how much Anakin loves killing kids.
He does like killing children.
He loves killing children.
It's his little fetish of his.
So anyways, and I did the unedited originals, which I haven't done in a long time.
Oh, the actual theatrical ones from the DVDs.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. Little things like that they've added, like little bleeps and blorps in the background. The original trilogy is way more of like a fantasy flick. It feels it looks and feels like never-ending story more than before they kind of color corrected it and everything. And I had forgotten about that.
It's absolutely a fairy tale series.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool because I literally haven't seen that version in like 20 years. I luckily found the DVD in a bin.
Oh yeah,
Sonic Boom recently.
They can, not to promote illegal downloading or anything, but you can get the despecialized editions, and it's actually like someone had the original.
Oh, that's right.
35mm print, and they scanned it, and it's really awesome.
It's really good.
It's like 60 or 80 gig or something. It's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think I saw it. I tried to get this once. It's in multiple parts. Anyways, that's the prequels, and that kind of is breeze through the sequel because I'm like I've seen this one a bunch of times. Mm-hmm. When I went to see 9, I was so just like, okay, I that's a fair balance. I watched 3 Lucas prequels, I watched 3 of the originals, and I watched 3. I also watched Rogue One.
Oh, you did the Rouge one?
Yeah, so 3 Disney movies. That's a perfect cocktail.
Did you do Solo? Did you do it? Well, you're gonna do them all. Do them all.
What the fuck do I look like?
Do them all, man.
Jesus Christ, I'm marathoning, not fucking performing masochism. Sorry.
Did you watch...
don't mean to be over dramatic.
Did you watch Rogue One between episode 3 and episode 4?
Yeah. It was awesome. It was perfect. My favorite part was the Vader reveal because tonally the prequels are so goofy, and then Star Wars is so deep and dark. Like you see flaming corpses at one part. That movie's a perfect turning point. It kind of balances out. We're like, oh, it's been a couple years and the fucking galaxy's gone to shit. Yeah. Because the Empire's just ruined everything. Yeah. And then when you see Anakin in the back to tank, you're like, oh, he does not look good.
He's not done well.
Oh, shit.
I never thought of this before. There's 2 things I never thought of before that I just want to plop in real quick as Easter eggs or whatever. I don't know if Easter eggs works there. But one is Anakin doesn't have his vocal cords damaged. Why does he have a breathing thing that changes his voice?
Yeah, I never got the breathing mechanism. Doesn't make a ton of sense.
No. And 2 is in 2 instances, why didn't the Emperor just stop shooting lightning?
He can. He really likes shooting lightning.
See, Mace Windu fucks him up. He could have just stopped shooting his lightning.
Yeah.
And then
Vader picks him up.
Vader picks him up. Oh, and we'll get to it in this one, too.
It feels so good. Maybe that's what it is that it feels so goddamn good. And or once you start, you just can't stop.
You can't stop shooting lightning?
You can't.
I don't get
That's why his face looks like that, because he keeps trying to like turn it off and it keeps getting worse.
I don't get it. But anyways, we'll get into that when we get to the end of the movie. This is full of spoilers, by the way. Right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate. But anyways, I was just saying, I was so primed for this flick. My brain was on the wall, and I sat there for 2.5 hours being like, sure, why not? At this point, I've seen so much weirdness in this franchise. Yeah. Why the fuck wouldn't this be the ending? Like,
just a breakneck, non-stop, insane, ugly lighting...
The first one feels like you snapped out of hyperspace, and it's like, here's everything in this universe and the story. And you're like, what the fuck? And then now you're jumping back into hyperspace, so here's a bunch of shit as we leave, and you're like, what the fuck are you trying to do here?
But because they did shoot like 6 versions of it, and then chopped it around to see which one
that was
best.
The best one.
I was noticing things like, they must have had to rush a lot of the animation, because everything was foggy.
A lot of fog.
That's the rule, right? Like, if you don't have time to animate something properly, throw in some fog, it adds some atmosphere, and it covers up any blemishes in the animation. Mm-hmm. And there's one scene, I'm just going to jump ahead for a second, of when the Falcon kind of crashes.
Yes.
And right before that scene, they're like, what do you mean you can't get the landing strut down? Just randomly. Never mentioned anything about the Falcon's landing struts. And it's like a voiceover, like it was done in post. And I'm wondering if the original idea was that the Falcon was slowly falling apart, like the Falcon was dying with the end of the movies. You know what I mean? Because like it's on fire, it gets all beat up, it crashes at one point, and then it's just back, perfect condition at the end. You're like, what?
Right?
Wasn't this ship like fucked up?
Well, especially after you see Solo, you're like, oh, it's literally like in pieces at this point.
Yeah.
It's all just fucking wreckage, essentially.
Right. So I felt
I
like
think
the
of
seam.
that.
I think the seams of all, because they were in reshoots up until like a month ago.
Right.
So I think like the seams were really obvious to me. I kept being like, okay, that's an obvious ADR voiceover. This has obviously been the color timing on this is a little bit different, so they've stuck this in here. And
Right.
I really noticed the Frankenstein nature of this movie while watching it.
Okay.
It was awkward.
I thought it was a delight for the fucking senses. And I enjoyed how palpable the strangeness was. It was delicious.
But let's get into it. How
Okay.
does this movie start? The message from beyond the grave.
Yeah,
Or whatever.
we get the fucking exclamation point back,
You get the
baby.
War.
Fucking-
What is it good for?
Exactly. And this one, what was it? It's like the dead speak.
The dead speak. And I leaned over I saw a friend of mine, Matt Morrissey. Shout out Matt Morrissey.
Morrissey, word.
Woo woo. I leaned over and I just said, there are heroes on both sides.
Evil is everywhere. That's one of the worst drafts that dude could have ever turned in, and they ran with it.
Ran with it.
You could just feel them being like, let's just get this over.
Just go.
Just let them know right up on Front Street the quality of movie they were stepping into.
Yeah.
Evil is everywhere. Yeah.
They're heroes on both sides. Robots and clones alike.
Yeah, love a heroic battle droid.
Anyways, so yeah, this fucking movie starts with like a balls to the wall Kylo Ren murder spree to find a magical
Let's
triangle.
be fair, it's a holocron, but we don't use
They
holocron
don't
because
use the
then
word.
fucking Lucas gets $1 or something.
And also, it really irritated me that the home planet of the Sith, because J.J. Abrams J.J. Abrams not good at list is sequels, endings,
Yes.
creature design, and names of planets. Because the Sith planet name of this was like Shabadoo. I don't even fucking... Exegol.
Which sounds like a fucking gas company
It sounds
from
like
the
a gas
80s.
company. And what was it? It's what's the name of the Sith planet in the expanded?
Bith.
But there's another one too that they've now kind of Korriban.
Korriban.
I thought Korriban is such a cool. There's Korriban. There's Bith, and then there's.
I think Bith is actually the species of the fucking players
Of
in the
them?
Cantina band.
And then Korriban.
That's a species.
And then, oh really?
Yeah.
And then you mean they're playing Jizz? Yeah.
Yeah, the Jizz
The
players.
Jizz players. And then there was another one, the Dathomir. That's the new one. But they
The
ignored.
Dark Sisters of Dathomir.
They ignored all that shit and called it ExxonMobil planet.
Exegol!
I'm not even sure what the fuck the planet was. It was all just fog and a
It was-
giant cube.
And a huge pyramid in the middle of it.
Did they come up out of the water, or were they just coming up
They
out
were
of the
coming out of the
atmosphere?
rock. So, at the top of this movie, we find out that old Sheev... I don't like Sheev, by the way.
Sheev, no.
Sheev. I don't know who came up with Sheev.
Was it in any of the movies?
No, it's in Clone Wars, but that's canon. Sheev, yeah.
Yeah.
So old Sheev, Palpatine's back, and apparently he's been getting busy, which I'll get into later.
Yeah.
Get that image out of your head. The fucking Emperor's like
Ian McDermott just...
his sweaty, gnarly balls
Yeah.
slapping against him,
Yeah.
shocking her and shit. Anyways, he's back, baby, and he's like, "Yo, Kylo Ren, if you kill Rey, I will give you a fleet. Oh, by the way, I made Snoke, and then I'll give you a fleet."
Oh yeah, and a quick pan by of a tank of Snokes. Were they like the discarded Snokes?
Why did you make him that design? Why did they all look deformed like
Deformed
that?
and horrible. Yeah, man. Yeah. Nothing makes sense about that. Was he just a fucked up one? But they're like, listen, we don't have a lot of time here. But then they all had the same deformities.
Maybe it's like when you photocopy, the same mistakes keep
Worse
showing
and
up.
worse. They're fucking Sith magic. Everyone knows what Sith are in this universe now, but Jedi, no one knew what the fuck they were. That bugged me. I jumped just a little bit because
That's a good point.
The 3PO said like, I cannot. The Old Republic installed programming in me that doesn't allow me to translate Sith artifacts or language. And it's like, how the fuck did they know what a Sith was? Weren't they like a mysterious hidden order that even the Jedi thought were just in legend?
Could that be part of his new Republic programming?
Did he?
Because they updated it. Because like when Luke Skywalker, like, okay, y'all need to know what the fuck that was.
How would? Oh, I guess Luke. Yeah, he would have come in.
Would have
and
like
been
reprogrammed in the new Republic and be like, y'all need to know about the Sith. This has
That
been
makes
going
sense.
on for like
Maybe,
decades. They
'cause
took over the galaxy.
Yeah, because even background extras were like, well, the Sith practice their dark magic as
Yeah.
the camera went by. It's like, how the fuck does like Jimmy, background character, know?
How does Pippin know?
How does Pippin? Hey, I thought Matt Smith was in this movie. Everyone talked about how Matt Smith,
Matt Smith?
Doctor Who,
Doctor Who.
was in this movie. And then
Oh
he just,
yeah, he was supposed to be.
he was
That
supposed
sounds
to be.
familiar.
I wonder if that's one of the 6 endings. But I wonder if Palpatine originally was supposed to go super young again.
Is Matt Smith in Rise of Skywalker? You're absolutely right. He did not show up.
I will bet anything that he was an ending where Palpatine sucked out all their juices and became super young.
Or do you... possibly. Or... Ooh, I could see it. Yeah. I was going to say even or his son. If they were going to go more into that story.
Yeah, that could have worked.
Again, get that fucking image out of your head. Fucking Chief Palpatine raising a kid. Yeah.
I do like the Star Wars continue the tradition of family members getting it on, because in my opinion, Palpatine used his dark side Kim to create Vader. Vader is
say Kim one more time.
Kim is and that's Vader is Kylo Ren's grandpa, and then he's the grandfather of Rey. So it's kind of like there's a connection there between those two, a familiar connection, and they totally make out at the end, bro.
Yeah, shipping Reylo, yo.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Oh, Reylo.
I wonder if, like, whenever that happened, like, you could just... The floors of theaters got sopping wet from all the fangirls who just like, Reylo! The hashtags worked.
Was the implication that there was a bit of a three-way relationship?
Between Poe, Rey, and Finn? Yeah, they totally fucked.
Poe, Rey, Finn,
they totally
Egon. Sorry.
What's that?
That's from Ghostbusters 2.
Is that really Poe, Rey, Finn?
No, wait, what?
Oh, I thought they...
No, they go Doe. I think it was like Doe, and then Rey says Rey, and then Egon goes Egon.
Gotcha.
But Ghostbusters 2.
2?
Yeah.
See, honestly, I haven't watched 2.
No, I don't bother. But... Because we never found out, at one point in the movie, Finn is like, I got something I gotta tell you before we die. Like a lane in the finale of Star Wars.
That's right.
The finale of Seinfeld.
No, that was right the first time the finale of Star Wars works.
Yeah, it does. And it never went anywhere. So I'm like, what? So what are they, all three of them just kind of going? But then...
Oh, yeah, that did not go anywhere.
And then Poe was kind of looking at, kind of winking at Bounty Hunter butt there. What was her name?
Oh, Carrie Russell?
Felicity. The Zim Zam Woo. She kind of looked like the assassin from episode 2.
Oh, I guess a little bit. Oh, that was another thing that came up while I was watching episode 2, and I laughed so hard. So fucking Anakin Skywalker's fucking like leaning off the goddamn speeder during the car chase, and then she turns into an alien. And I'm like, right, there's aliens in this, and like they're in the clone army, and like they're causing mischief and like disarray in the Jedi ranks, and they're impersonating Jedi, right? Does this ever come up again? I'm like, wait, no, I'm thinking of Spider-Man Far From Home. This never comes up again in this movie.
Nope.
And I'm like, oh my god, like, what was the point of that?
No. It was a low bar to hurdle for this movie, for sure, but I still think they tripped over it a little bit, in my opinion. It's going to be interesting to watch again.
I can't wait to watch this piece.
It's going to be interesting.
Again, dude, eventually, I started getting vibes of, strangely, Batman Forever. Where I was in theaters and being like, this is so goofy dumb, I'm just going to lean into it. Like, I don't care.
On Rey's suit.
So, nipples on Rey's suit. You haven't gotten past the first 5 minutes.
No, so it's Kylo Ren kills a bunch of motherfuckers, meets Sheev.
You meet Sheev, and then...
Sheev says, go kill Rey and I'll give you my fleet.
Which fleet? And he turns around, and this badass fleet comes
maybe out of the water, maybe out of smoke.
Are they drones? Is the implication he's controlling all of them?
I don't know. And then we got Withnail and I there, as apparently has been serving him
since... Richard E. Grant.
Yeah, serving him since the beginning of the wars. His eyes glow, but then that doesn't really go anywhere.
His eyes glow?
At one point we saw he's like, I've served you since the beginning time. His eyes go and like glow blue.
Oh, I thought that was just like an explosion behind him or the hologram.
That's what I was like, is that supposed to be... But he's standing in front of the hologram, so why would it suddenly... cue up the color in his iris? It doesn't make sense to me.
Oh.
I was like, okay, so what's this guy's story? And then he just disappeared. What? And then he just dies at the end.
Seeing shit.
No, his eyes do. But then, because he doesn't move. He's talking to the hologram, and he doesn't move forward.
I thought it just flared up. I can remember the moment you were talking about.
Did the hologram just flare up? Or was it
yeah, because they're always unstable and shit.
Maybe. I don't know. It was weird, because it went and sustained. Anyways. But then we cut to... Our heroes and a giant piece of gum.
You leave fucking hip hop or whatever his name was.
What was his fucking name?
I don't fucking know.
He was like
he looked like a Futurama cartoon alien, and I loved it.
He looked like Forky, like a kid had made him out of gum and like swizzle sticks.
I kind of like that. Just the idea of like we're just gonna draw something that looks like something a kid could have drawn, but it's an animatronic puppet. I'm all for it.
And they're running around trying to... because, again, in the opening crawl, it says a mysterious broadcast.
So Palpatine apparently has been like, I'm coming for you,
so I guess he realized it's time for me to reveal myself.
Yeah.
And go, hey, all you guys, I'm coming.
And then he gets... So his idea is like, yo, I need Kylo Ren to do it for me. So Kylo Ren... He calls him there, right? Because he's like, I've been every voice you've been
No, he's like, Kylo Ren found him. So that was a bit of convenience. So had he just been sitting being like, he really needs to get here soon. The signal is ready.
He was probably using... Because if he's been... Remember, he likes the helmet. He talks to the helmet.
Yeah.
It's been showing him
He's
visions.
showing him where to
it's
go
gotta
to
be
get the
the whole...
thing.
Yeah, the whole time he's been like, come on.
Why did the unknown regions look like they were microscopic in flying around blood?
Because it looks kind of cool.
Was that a wink to Lucas's original sequel idea that it was all a microscopic universe?
Possibly, or just like they're really up against the wall for creative ideas at this point. It's like, dude, the last movie we had a giant squid in a cloud. We don't we don't know what's going on anymore.
The Kessel Run,
the electric squid in the cloud.
Did I ever tell you what I thought would have been the coolest Kessel Run idea? As an aside to this, it should have been that the Kessel Run, and as a tie-in to Empire Strikes Back, the Kessel Run should have been an asteroid field.
Yeah, okay.
And the fewer course corrections you make, the less distance you travel.
Yeah. That's what I think it's originally supposed to be.
Was that what it's supposed to be?
There's a book where his kids are doing it. Han's getting all pissed because Jason and Jane are the twin solo children in what is now the Legends, I think they call it. They're testing a TIE interceptor through an asteroid field, and
that was the Kessel Run?
The Kessel Run, yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I thought that would have been so much cooler, because then it's like the better maneuvering you do, the less distance you go.
Yeah.
Done.
And it did under 12 parsecs because that ship can just turn on a dime.
Turn on a dime. Not as fast as this ship.
You leave Billy D alone. He was a treasure.
As soon as a tubby dude in a mask showed up and started guiding him somewhere, I was like, oh, that's Billy D.
It's Billy D. And
Leia called me.
I love the leopard print collar. I want to do that costume so bad. Just
you gotta gain about 70 pounds.
I can just fucking round out the coat. I don't mind.
Poor Billy D at the end, all sad and alone, and then trying to bang that chick.
Let's find out. You would enjoy a nice Colt 45.
When that would start happening, being like, I lost because he said something about losing his family, and then she said, and I was like, oh my god, is this going to be like a "You're my father" moment right at the end here? And it was like, no, he wants to bang her.
I leaned over to my buddy Drew and I was like, it's because they're black. That's why they're giving them this scene, right? It's because they're both black.
Her and Finn got along really well too.
Look, we did a scene where there's two of them talking to each other with Disney. Are you happy? Progress.
Two girls kissed. Progress. Hashtag progress.
Oh my god. All for fucking fucking what's his name? Affirming it. Primordial.
Da, 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 da.
I knew it would come back to haunt me one day.
Did your own hold-on maneuver there.
The fucking writer from Endgame, who wrote himself in as a character, so you're like, your first identifying homosexual character.
Oh yeah,
in the movie,
one of
the Russos. Thank
yeah.
you, the Russo brothers. That's class. Just being like center of the shot, having a character just make out like a same-sex kiss. I'm like, that is the fucking stupidest virtue signaling bullshit I have seen in a Star Wars flick ever.
There was so many like just weird decisions in it, and we'll get into that as we break it down. But my favorite of them all, there was two. I just want to jump ahead and say my two favorite of them all, in case I forget later. Was we're gonna need some holdo maneuvers when they're about the rebels are about to attack the fleet at the end. And like, we're gonna need a bunch of holdo maneuvers, and like off camera, Poe is like, it's a wall only works once in a million times. Like, why does it? Couldn't you actually take a bunch of X-wings and jump to hyperspeed at all these ships and just blow them up? It only works once in a million times.
We were talking about this. So here's my thing about the holdo maneuver, and I think it's what adds some gravity to that situation, which is kind of cool. It's super risky. Basically,
wouldn't that be a time to risk it though? Send in 10 X-Wings.
But like
and just
the
shoot
idea,
them at
if like, because like the holdo maneuvers in the middle of space in the system, blah 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 blah. I think if you fucking hyperspace through that fucking fleet, it would create so much shrapnel. It would just endanger like that sector of the galaxy.
Cool though, right? Like, they're in the unknown regions. They got a Sith fleet with world-ending lasers attached to each ship.
Listen, I don't know why I'm defending this.
Well, my second favorite...
I don't know.
In fact, my first favorite thing, but the one I'll say second, is the one I mentioned earlier, is when Rey shows up on Ahch-To, and Luke's like, I was wrong.
Dude.
That whole movie, that last movie?
Dude.
I was wrong.
One of the most petty fuck yous I've ever seen on film when she threw the lightsaber and he caught it. And then he's like, that's no way to treat a Jedi. I was
wrong. My hair grew on.
I was like, can you two just go out in the parking lot and just beat the shit out of each other like adults? Like, this is really sad.
Hey, how did Knives Out do? Did it bomb, or is Rian Johnson happy right now, or is he
Good
extra
question.
double pissed? He's like, my movie bombed and they're shitting on
And
it.
they're shitting all over you right now.
Yeah.
How is Knives Out doing? It's got a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes.
What's on blah, 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 Box Office Mojo? We'll give you the info. Box Office Mojo info.
It's done 167 with a $40 million budget.
Oh shit! No, it did. So he's like, he doesn't give a shit. Rian Johnson's like, I got my movie.
Yeah,
Go
he's
fuck
good.
yourself.
He's good.
But where were we? Oh, we pick up on
Poe and Finn.
they're just on a
rescue
mission to get the signal for some reason.
I
even
think
though,
it's the location of where Sheev's hiding out.
But then
Because
they need the
so
holocron
basically
for that.
they fucking have a spy on the inside who sends a message that they download into R2D2. They're okay, he's fucking spoilers. General Hux just told us.
I'm the spy. That actually made me chuckle. He was just like, I'm the spy. Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, no, that was the
timing
whole.
was hilarious.
That was the whole movie for me. I'm like, sure,
Why
do
not?
it.
Why not?
Why not? I'm surprised Baby Yoda didn't walk in with an army of Gungans at the end.
Isn't it weird they established Baby Yoda healing people with the
I
Force?
was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Because the second I fucking saw Carl Weathers get spoilers if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, Carl Weathers gets fucked up by a poisonous pterodactyl. My fear. Okay, if I'm meeting you in the middle of bumblefuck nowhere, I'm not gonna walk 2 goddamn days without a fucking rider, like a speeder or a
Something
ride,
to get you back.
and then walk back when there's goddamn pterodactyls with poisonous claws that just
The
cruise
size of
around.
dragons.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That was a. I'm loving the Mandalorian, but I'm like, God damn it, Carl Weathers, you're the dumbest motherfucker in the galaxy.
We got to do a whole other podcast on Mandalorian because I think it went downhill super quick.
It is, and I love it.
Yeah, you said it best. That
love
it's,
it.
I've actually repeated your analysis of it, which is it's Walker, Texas Ranger in space.
Yes.
You're saying that's a positive. I say it as a negative, but it's true both ways.
Yeah. No, it's pure pulp and just like formulaic as shit. And I'm like, good, more of this.
Anyways,
every time they show that Baby Yoda, they sell another dollar.
Fucking billion toys. We're still in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and this is a movie with a lot of scenes. I don't think we're going to be able to get through it beat for beat.
So you have to take the reins, or I'm just gonna. You have to fucking because I'm just gonna fucking.
Oh, because the movie is at such a breakneck pace that you can kind of go over it pretty quickly too. It's like they get the signal, they fly back. Ray and I'm not Ray. Finn and Poe and the chewing gum and Chewie. Get the signal, fly back from the ice planet, land on the rebel base. The ship's on fire. It's all fucked up. But before that, we see Rey training with a really awkwardly like photoshopped out Leia and put into this planet.
You know, my favorite was like the number of awkward setups they had to do just so she could deliver on the line. Like,
I was gonna say,
like
they had a finite number of lines, and they had to write around those lines. It was so awkward. What was the one thing, like, the droid came over and beeped, and Rey was like, that's right, droid. She was like, always listen to a droid.
Yes!
And you're like, what? I wonder.
Boy, Jedi training sure is hard. If I could get anything right now, I'd sure like to eat a sandwich. Sandwiches are a hard thing to make, Rey. You're like,
yeah.
What? What? What's going on?
It's like, is it... I seen it. Did you seen it? Is it my scene? Have you called action yet? That's the Carrie Fisher clip. Yeah, awkward.
It was really awkward in parts. Some of them were really... One or two were done really well.
I didn't notice, but the rest of them you could tell. You're like,
yeah.
Oh, this has been structured all around. And it was really awkward too because, again, this was so many reshoots and last minute things. The effects team must have they would have destroyed relationships. These poor animators trying to get this done because so many of the times Carrie Fisher had this blur around her.
Yeah,
it was so obvious they just didn't have time to properly put her in
to render her out. I wonder if they always played on a fucking larger screen at a higher resolution and everything. But I wonder if that's just one of those things where you don't really notice it until it's up on a big screen. You're like, fuck, we could have done that better.
I think
we totally could have done that better.
I'm pretty sure screening rooms are big screens.
Yeah, they have to be.
Going over everything. But, so then that's it. So, and, okay, now I want to get into talking about the characters in this.
How come some Jedi disappear and some don't? How come it takes them a while?
We never know. We'll
like that pissed me off.
Know.
They poured more dirt on that mystery.
Because they muddled it. Because in episode 3, Yoda's like, "Your old master figured out how to go to the netherworld of the Force."
That's right. Yeah. And then sometimes it takes Leia like a week to turn into the living Force.
And she was like, because they talked about how Kylo Ren and Rey were tethered, so was she tethered too? So she couldn't go to the Force until he did?
I think it was kind of implicated because there was that one moment where maybe she binds herself to them. Because remember, she calls Ben, she does Luke's Force projection thing, but it kills her.
Yeah.
And at that moment, Rey fucking stabs Ben. Like, they all kind of fucking have this moment where, like, she kind of goes to the dark side of it. Yeah, she stabs Ben with a lightsaber. Ben goes down, and that's when she fucking saves his life with the fucking Force healing for the first time.
And where was Ben's ghost at the end? Did he just get sent to hell?
Ben goes to hell.
Ben goes to hell. That's
why wasn't he with him? That would have been the perfect fate.
He was a Skywalker.
And also to call back to the shot of Anakin coming back in at the end of Jedi.
Yeah.
Good point, man.
Yeah, that
was
weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. He just I imagine, because again, that was one of 6 endings. I bet you there was one where Rey died. I bet you there was one where Rey went to the dark side. I bet you there was one where fucking Poe and I don't know, blew up his hand throwing a grenade. Who fucking knows? But that was the Frankensteinness of it all, where I'm like, things that would make sense aren't happening because it's clearly been all mishmashed together. But I want to talk quickly about the characters, because in the first 2 films, because the first 2 films take place within 5 minutes of each other. And again, I'm not sure how we're supposed to really care about characters that we've seen literally about 72 hours of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Over, 4 years?
Yeah.
Like, this happened real quick. But Finn, wide-eyed, first time in the galaxy, was taken as a kid and turned into a stormtrooper, so his first time he's seen all this stuff, he's very excited about everything. Rey is just sort of a homebody, wants to stay on her planet, doesn't really want adventure. And then Poe is just sort of a dashing rogue who is a good pilot. In this one, it's like Poe is a miserable shithead, where we find out who's like a spice runner, and he's just hot wiring shit all the time.
Right.
And he's always miserable now. I don't know why he's fighting with Rey all the time. They have this like Han Leia thing going on.
Right.
Finn has become again an asshole. He's kind of like a shit to Poe constantly. He's always like, "Yeah, well, you don't know Poe," and like walking away from him and stuff. And he's he's super confident. So I guess we're to assume in between the last 2 movies, he's just been like jacked up on his training.
Well, he fucking was ready to sacrifice his life at the end of the last one. He was ready to kill himself and shit. So I'm sure now he's like, he ain't taking shit from goddamn gorgeous Guatemalan.
Just comparing him and the gunner of the Falcon in the first one to this one, where he's all like stoic and shooting and stuff. It's like, when did he get badass? We didn't get to see that.
Well, see, the blurred community was ready to fucking kill Rian Johnson by turning him. So JJ was like, "You ain't gonna do that shit to me."
Not this one.
He's gonna be all badass now.
And then Rey, I don't know. I guess Rey was she's so characterless. She's such white toast. That girl. I don't really. She's like plain white bread. I don't see and she got kind of scared that she might be turning to the dark side, and that was really it.
Yeah.
In terms of her character,
I hate the fact that from Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, she's like, "I want to learn to be a Jedi so badly. I'll even say fuck you to the guy I was looking for my whole life and just go on my own." And this one, she's still that chick. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking dig up the goddamn Mary Sue argument because it's been chewed up from every fucking angle.
But now we know why, because she's a Palpatine.
But she just has 0 arc throughout these movies.
No,
like
not at all.
She just wants to be good.
As can be illustrated by her costumes. She goes from wearing white to tan to white again.
I always thought to me, it always went from like that gross, fucking like gray. Then she
was gray in the second one. The first Jakku, it was like
dirty
sandy
white. It's like the Tatooine outfit, essentially.
Yeah, it's like white that's filthy, but not like
the Jedi robe.
Right.
But it looks like she just went from like Jedi robe to like kind of proper to like even whiter. I'm like, you just get more plain, girl.
Yeah.
Like you're just fading into this fucking atmosphere.
She was like a commercial for a fabric softener white in this one. Her outfit.
Especially when she's like on every gnarly environment.
She's sweating.
There's no stains on it. She's just like immaculate.
It doesn't make sense.
Cool costume design. I did like the hood in the back. I thought that was cool when it flipped up.
The second one she was gray, so they were doing the Luke thing where she was going to be going, and she should have been wearing black in this one, but and she should have been. She was a fucking Palpatine, so why wouldn't they have put her in black? So wouldn't that, as an audience member, cued us on a subconscious level to go, "Oh, she's going to go bad at the end"?
But she didn't.
But she didn't. That would have been the surprise. right?
Yeah,
Like just like
that
Luke.
movie was not trying to be clever, man. They were just trying to. You know what I imagine it like? It's just JJ standing on a tarmac and there's 70 planes flying down in this blizzard. He's like, fuck, what are you gonna do? Like, some of these are gonna crash. I don't know.
So again, so really, it's hard. It's like there's not much to talk about in terms of beat for beat.
Hold up. So we were at General Leia. Hold up.
That scene of Back on the Planet.
You know what else happened a lot? Fucking Rey's in a room, and then Kylo Ren shows up, and they lightsaber fight, and then she gets away. And they're in a room, and they do some more exposition, and then
so many medium shots in this movie.
It was weird.
The whole fucking movie was medium shots. Even there was always just exposition in places, and there was too much like connection between them with the Force stuff.
Well,
because it got to the point at the end, I didn't know if he was actually like if they were actually interacting at the end.
So I think the whole point is, whenever he's,
you know what I mean? Oh no, like well, because again, if you've seen it or haven't seen it, they talk to each other through the Force, and visually that's communicated by each one of them sees the other in their environment that they're standing in. So Kylo Ren sees Rey in on the planet, and Rey sees Kylo Ren on the ship. But then by the end of the movie, when Rey is like going to the Death Star to find this holocron, and then Kylo Ren shows up, I'm like, is he really there, or is this a projection? So the visual trick of how they displayed the projection made it confusing at the end of the movie to know if they actually were interacting or not. It took a minute to be like, they're there.
But then there would be no different background.
Yeah, because it wasn't confusing for the whole scene, but it would always start. It'd be like, okay, are they actually in the same room right now?
Well, he pulled that Luke Skywalker shit where the first couple swings she takes, she misses him. So I'm like, God damn it! I remember thinking that. Right.
Yeah. So I guess for a neat visual cue, it made it really confusing as to whether or not they were ever in the same room together.
We gotta talk about new Force powers.
New Force powers are horrible because it's like Jesus. It's literally Jesus. They can fucking raise the dead.
I was
heal.
noticing it throughout I always thought that was an advent of the newer movies, but isn't there a new Force power per every movie? Like in Empire, he gets the pull, the Force pull,
and his jump, his big jump.
Yeah, and then Return of the Jedi, he gets something. Lightning. You get lightning.
Oh, yeah, you get lightning. That's Sith power, technically.
Well, it's still put the Force.
Well, I guess it's still the Force. And then Episode 1, you don't get anything new.
Midi-chlorians. You get fucking virgin birth. I mean, dude, it sucks, but it's in the fucking story.
What about Episode 2? Do you get anything new?
Do you get anything new in 2? Yeah, fucking Yoda catches lightning. He can stop lightning now.
And shoots it. And what about 3?
Is there one in 3? I think there has to be a new ability in there. There's gotta be something in 3.
Murdering children?
It's his favorite thing. It's his he does it a lot. Yeah. And that was the one thing rewatching those movies, I'm like, again with the kids?
Yeah.
Can this guy not kill anyone else but the women and the children? I really like killing children.
We should do a sketch where it's Vader's like he's had a long day and he's going to relax and he relaxes by killing children. He just sits in his big lazy boy and kids are marched out and he just slices their heads off like he's downing beer.
He just force chokes them while he just rests his helmet in his hand like...
I don't mind new Force powers, but I thought these ones are getting to the point now where it's Deus Ex Machina level Force powers. So it's like we're introduced to Rey hovering and being able to hold there for a really long time. So the third act, when she's trying to get to the Death Star to steal the holocron, she's on a skiff in this horrible ocean. Why didn't she just hover her ass across? If she
can't move. Don't be silly.
She was wriggling around in the hover.
She can just twirl. She can't fly.
You know what I mean?
She's not Wonder Woman.
And if you're like a lightsaber through the fucking chest, if you're able to heal that shit up, then that's sort of like this is very comparable to J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Into Darkness.
I thought that.
Star Trek Into Darkness got rid of death in the Star Trek universe because Khan's blood could bring things back from the dead.
Oh yeah.
In this movie, it's like okay, so anytime if there's a Jedi nearby, you're basically immortal. You can get shot through the fucking head. He puts his hand on your head, and you'll probably come back Wolverine style.
I thought it was kind of implicated that that's just an ability that Kylo Ren and Rey have because
they're the only Jedi in the movie.
There was one quick line that I kind of dug where Palpatine's like, "Never has the Force done this," where it's created this two super powerful human beings on both sides. I thought that was just an ability that those two guys had.
I don't know, it was very vague.
Oh, so it's totally vague as fuck, but like it's just based on the fact it's an ability. Well, no, Baby Yoda's got it.
Baby Yoda's got it.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
So death is a thing of the past as long as you got a Jedi on you. That would also be another great bit to do where a guy just has a Jedi all chained up in a box. And every
or
time
Baby Yoda rubs him on his arm.
that are rubbing them. Just do it.
The worst bounty hunter on the planet. Like, he's fucking got slave children, but he's immortal.
Because of his baby Yoda. Maybe we'll find out Yoda's like a Hwill or something in the last episode. We'll and then it'll all make sense. But we're still at the first like 10 minutes of this fucking movie. But then, honestly, there's a lot to skip in the middle because it's just that...
So they find Lando on the fucking sand planet.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they find out that they have to find this holocron. And that's it. And then it's just
But the thing is, this is where my fucking idiot adult brain got so lost. I'm like, why are they in the old ship? Why is she not getting the old ship to fight Kylo Ren? Why is this happening? And she just came back. Did she even get back in the ship? No, then they did the fake Chewie death.
Oh, the fake out Chewie death.
The fake out Chewie, which I totally bought hook, line, sinker. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, because it was cheap. It showed him getting into a ship with one ship in the area. The ship took off and blew up. That's like fucking, I guess, it's like a 1930s serial where you see the guy go off the cliff, but then in the next episode, he's hanging from the cliff. So
I totally drank the Kool-Aid.
Very 1930s serial on that one. That's why I didn't really care. I don't know.
I didn't want to have to experience Chewie's death twice. He infamously died in the books, and the community was devastated.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to have to do this again.
No, they made sure not to kill anyone. Like any
true.
innocent character. It was just Kylo Ren, and he even went and became a Force ghost.
That's right.
And then bad guys. And then Leia, because she's actually fucking... This is the Funeral March trilogy. I think
it's kind of dour, huh?
It needs to be the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and the funeral trilogy, because every episode has a death of an original character in it. It's Han, and then it's Luke, and then it's Leia. Boom, boom, boom. Leaving Lando alone and trying to score with a 20-year-old.
Oh, my personal favorite. Wait, there's only two funerals in the first one. One in the original trilogy.
There's Padme's in the original trilogy.
Padme's and Qui-Gon's.
Qui-Gon's noble end.
And then the Vader's and the there's a lot of funerals in this one. God damn, that's sad.
But it's just all made because it's like in the original trilogy and even in the prequels, it's thematically appropriate to who's dying. This one is just like it was a checklist of killing off original characters. In each movie, it didn't make any sense.
That's true, yeah.
Let's get into the... Okay, so basically, it's such a simple plot, is that they just race around the galaxy with Kylo Ren in the First Order, playing cat and mouse, trying to find this holocron, and then...
With the brooding... fucking Knights of Ren.
Oh, yeah, who the fuck they are. They're still a mystery.
But my favorite part is that no matter what they do, it seems to involve coming around the corner and looking sinister.
Peeking. Yeah.
As a group. Like they're Gwar.
They're like a boy band of Gwar or something, yeah. But then that's it, and then it all converges on the Sith, the ancestral Sith homeworld of Exalt Mobil, and it's a big fight, and it ends. But I want to get into the Shiv Palpatine of it all. Was that supposed to be the same guy from Return of the Jedi? Because his hands were all fucked up, his eyes were gone, like he'd been destroyed or shot too much lightning or chucked down a pit. Why was he so fucked up if he was that blast that came out of at the end of Return of the Jedi just planted his consciousness into another clone or whatever? I thought that was
supposed to be the body of another clone.
But then why was he so gnarled?
Because he's been up to shit.
attached to that chair?
Yeah, he's been like, I thought he says like it's not the first time he's died. I assume that,
I've died before.
I assume he goes in the pit, right? His spirit flies out, goes into a clone body. That clone body's like, "Ooh!" And those kids! And then he fucking...
hides. Just, I gotta get it.
No, he's been doing shit. He's been building like a giant fleet and shit.
He hides away.
To do that, you needed contractors and such. And you have to make dark side deals.
Wait,
and the next thing you know, they cut your finger off because you can't make a payment,
Ring finger too.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. If that's not the same Palpatine, it was already established that reflected Force lightning, which again, he should have just stopped shooting his lightning.
He really likes it though.
Likes it a lot. It melted his face. So if he was shot into a Palpatine clone, wouldn't that look like Ian McDiarmid?
Yeah, but that one was all old. It was all old and saggy and gross.
But it had the exact same scarred face from the Force lightning. He had the same black under his eyes and...
Well...
Right?
He really liked that look. So one day, he put his fucking lightsaber on a fucking rack, turned it on, and just bounced that shit back into his face.
I want to see him holding a vanity mirror and shooting lightning into it and back onto his face.
But just gently like, fuck! God damn it! The eyebrows are the worst.
They're getting like a facelift.
Sir, I can just have someone do it for you, please.
But see, that's why they need one line to say I'm a clone or something, because it didn't... He had a tank full of snooks, but there was no And then he had like 1,000 hooded chanting people. Who the fuck were they?
Well, they were wall people. So these people like to live in the walls, and they go Korra Ratama, and then whenever he does a ceremony, they say, "Oh, and finally we can get out of the wall." Korra Ratama. Why they aren't in the ships, I don't know. They're priests.
Who were they? Were they supposed to be all the bodies of Shiv?
I think they were. I assume they were all like inquisitors or some such from the series. You know,
or were they the spirits of the Sith from the past? Because all the Sith live in him now.
I thought I wanted to hear them just say Korra Ratama once.
They didn't use Duel of the Fates in this.
No,
I was really.
It was all the promotional material.
It feels like thematically appropriate to have used Duel of the Fates
totally
in this movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even if when she was walking in, I was listening. If they said Korra, that's it. Korra. Give me a Ratama. Come on,
just something. It was really weird. This I have to say, I listened to the soundtrack beforehand because I'm obviously we're both giant the master of music.
And did you see catch his cameo? I missed it.
Oh no, I missed it.
So it's when I forget what part it was, but they're popping out of a bar, and when they leave, there's a bald bartender with a bushy white beard.
Oh, that was him.
And an eye patch, and Drew was like, but I didn't
see that.
Yeah,
but I thought this was a very underwhelming score. This is a score of a nearly 100-year-old man just being like, all right, I'll do it.
But it felt like the whole movie. Like, it was like the Phantom Menace. Like, we're just rushing shit out. Yeah. We don't know what this is anymore.
What it reminded me of is episode 2, because episode 2, Across the Stars, is one of the best pieces of music John Williams ever written. But the rest of the music in episode 2 all feels like his B tracks. This felt like all of his B tracks without an Across the Stars. There was no like Rise of Skywalker theme.
Which would have been awesome.
Or just bring back Duel of the Fates, man. It would have been so appropriate.
Yeah. There was a great promo called Duel, I believe it's called. And someone took the sample in it because it's essentially the do, but they add in the Imperial March.
Oh, okay.
And then some fucking brilliant, I wish I remember the dude's name, brilliant composer fucking took it and made a 3-minute track out of it. And he cues up Battle of the Heroes at one part too. And I'm like, this should have been in the fucking finale, man.
In the final film of all 9 films, and you should musically be referencing more than just the Star Wars theme and the Imperial March.
That did slip in.
It slipped in.
And then
the Emperor's theme wasn't even in it. There was no
Yeah, it was. Yeah, when he was electrocuting the fucking fleet.
Was it?
Yeah. I was waiting for that.
I totally...
and 100% there's a scene whenever she's like, I'm going to find Palpatine and I'm going to kill him. It was one of the few shots in the movie I thought was actually really artistically done. She's talking to Boyega, and her eye, I don't know how he did the light, but they're cut perfectly half light, half dark, and it's in perfect profile. She's all dark, and she's like, I'm going to find Palpatine, I'm going to kill him. Finn's like, that doesn't sound like you, Ray. They do the Emperor's theme, but it's like
little...
but it's like I don't know what it's a soprano version of it. So it's a higher instrument, but it's on Ray.
No, what the
fuck is that?
That's Augie's great municipal band at the end of episode 1.
Fucking bunch of Gung. You don't remember the part where the Gungan fucking drum band walked out?
Yeah.
The Boo Starfighter parade? Nah. Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah, they definitely put Palpatine's theme in a bunch.
I didn't notice it, but I guess, I don't know, the music isn't mixed the way it used to be.
Yeah, fair.
It's all very much in the background these days.
Maybe you're going deaf.
And maybe I'm going deaf. I know I'm going mad.
The fucking face. That was horrifying.
But that's
y'all happy you didn't see that shit. That was nightmare fuel.
You all would have loved it. But that's it. And then I feel like I had more points to make, but I feel like I've kind of forgotten them in the past 12 hours.
Well, okay. There's beats that you glossed right over, my friend. That's why.
It's just so quick.
Okay, so Chewie's dead, right?
Right, we think
Suppose suggests they go to fucking Kimchi. Kimchi. Whatever the fuck it was called, Kijimi. So they get 3PO to read the fucking dagger, right?
I'm saying goodbye to my friends.
So 3PO reads the dagger, dude, we skipped over goddamn Babu Frick, alright? Babu Frick was one of the greatest fucking pieces of cinematic gold I have seen.
Babu Frick?
How dare you? Babu Frick was the fucking little mechanic dude who did 3PO's brain thing.
There, Baby Yoda.
Oh, goddamn, that fucking thing rocked. Fuck you, that thing rocked. This is the weird way he would talk like a drunk stoner, like, you giant. I love that dude.
Was Maz Kanata a puppet in this one?
I don't know, but she looked good, huh?
She looked like, because the way she was moving was like awkward. Like when she smiled, it was a couple motions to it. I'm like, that doesn't seem animated.
I don't know.
Did their animation budget run out, so they just built a puppet for her?
I don't know, but when they showed her, I was like, she looks like legit. Either it's really good CGI or it's a shitty puppet.
Yeah, one or the other. A really good CGI or a really bad puppet. One or the other.
They, through the forest, Kylo Ren's like, yo, you're Palpatine's granddaughter. And fucking Palpatine slapped his nasty nuts against some chick. Get
Or
it out of your head now.
The dark side.
Maybe he just does that dark side thing.
Yeah.
We briefly see the parents and they're nobody.
They're just randos.
So presumably this Sith motherfucker Carson stabbed their parents.
Was that him, or I thought he just sent people to do that?
No. I think it was that guy with the butthole eyes. Remember Butthole Eyes the alien?
Yeah, Butthole
So
Eyes the alien.
he stabbed them, Carson, with a dagger.
Yeah.
That's how that you glossed right over that insane fucking very ham-fisted
reconciliation to who Rey's family was.
Yes,
You're
your
a
parents were
Palpatine.
nobody, but your granddad was
Somebody.
Palpatine. Aha!
Every revelation in this, I didn't care, because it's like I didn't know this was going to happen, but at the same time it wasn't like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. It was like, yeah,
Oh no, again, I was just watching this like, sure, okay,
that's like one of three things that could happen, so that they went with that one.
I did kind of like the little Indiana Jones like nature of her getting, for all intents and purposes, Luke Skywalker her dad's journal and flipping through it and finding clues. That first little bit, I was like,
oh yeah,
I was like, there's a good movie in this track where they just do an Indiana Jones where she finds Luke's journal.
Wait, did she say Luke's journals?
Remember, she takes all his books at the end of Jedi.
Because those aren't supposed to be Luke's journals. Those are supposed to be
the Jedi text, but she just grabs everything. I'm assuming, which we might have included Luke's porn and journals.
That one quick, that one Luke's jerk off material, just sketchings of that blue milked titty. Ugh.
My God, there's dozens.
I was wrong.
Hey Ray, by the way, did you see a blue, I want to say like slate notebook? It's not a big deal.
It's got some
if you have it, just don't burn it.
Hold it up.
Just throw it in the TIE fighter.
Just hold it up.
Throw it in the TIE fighter.
You know, everyone bitched about Yoda being able to create lightning. Yoda's ghost being able to create lightning in the last one, or summon lightning. And I always was like, oh, that's like paranormal and weather effects tend to go together like fucking.
I'll agree with that.
Right? But in this one, actually like grabbing
because
physically.
he's Luke Skywalker.
I was wrong.
He's so strong with the Force. Always so strong.
Do you think there's a right at the very end, and I'm jumping all over the place now because fuck it, but right at the very end, there's a scene where Rey realizes all the Jedi are inside her, and it just shows like space, and you hear all the voice cameos from everybody. You hear Hayden Christensen, you hear
Sam Jackson.
Who
was the there was a female voice? I'm like, who's that?
I wonder if that's set up for future, because there was like 12 voices. So I'm wondering if some of them are set up for future characters. But do you think there was any version where you saw them? Do you think they actually put them in front of a green screen?
There's no way they just were like phone it in. Everyone just fucking phone it in. Yeah.
I wonder if... so, yeah, that was weird, too. So, Palpatine had all the dark side users inside of him, and Rey had all the light side users inside of her, and they just had a fuck off at the end, and then the light side won.
You see, the key to the whole dark side lightning game is that you need two lightsabers to deflect it. Duh, because one just bounces it back into his face.
But a second one
melts his fucking face right off, man. Like,
yeah. Wouldn't it have been more thematically appropriate if Yoda can catch lightning if she like dropped the lightsaber and realized she herself could have done that?
She did the same move.
Yeah.
Made a reference back to the
like... Oh, you know what else would have been great? There's a scene. Okay, so 3PO gets his memory wiped in order to he has ancient Sith text.
Okay,
stupid. So he has an ancient Sith text he's not allowed to read because there's programming that says that droids can't read Sith text for some fucking reason.
Because it's Luke put it in there.
Luke put it in there, sure.
Along with his milk tip porn.
Slipped it all into 3PO. And so he loses his memory, but then he gets back and he sees R2, and R2's like, bitch, I got your memories, and he plugs them in and he gives him his memories back. Wouldn't it have been great if he'd gotten all his memories back? And it was just like a one line where he wakes up and goes, I was built by Darth Vader?
Oh, that would have been great.
Like just one quick little line like that. Wouldn't that have been adorable?
That would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
So many missed opportunities in this thing.
A
lot of missed opportunities.
I thought so too. Yeah. Okay, so where are we at? Fucking so they go, memory. And Felicity comes in.
Felicity shows up.
And Poe likes Felicity.
Poe likes Felicity.
And then, so yeah,
we find out Poe was a spice dealer, and that's a big reveal.
She gets the dagger and has visions of the assassin. Their parents got killed. Got stabbed.
Got stabbed by butthole eyes.
By butthole.
The second butthole eye character in this trilogy.
That's true. They got a fetish for butt. Is that he's the same species?
He was a lot bigger. I mean, she's the man.
Yeah, well, don't discriminate. What are you, Randy Newman?
Maybe she's short people. I didn't realize she was a short people.
So, fucking Hux lets them escape on the Falcon, which was conveniently captured seconds before, so they could get away on it.
That's why it felt like reshoots. I think the Falcon was meant to die.
That felt really weird. Where they were just, we're going to bring the Falcon on board. We're like, why? Because these fuckers have to get off the ship somehow, you idiot.
And to see them, like, physically towing it with cables, it's like, in the original Star Wars, they bring them in with a tractor beam.
Yeah, just tractor beam W.
Is it too Star Trek-y? Did J.J. Abrams not want to go down the Star Trek route? Very.
Babu frick.
And so, yeah, they tractor it in just so they have something to escape off of.
And then, the Star Destroyer, Carson, it destroys Kimchi.
Oh, yeah, the Sith Destroyer.
Yeah, it pops out hyperspace.
Because they all have world ending.
They all have world... Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
Also a plotline in Dark Empire.
Really?
Yeah. I swear to God, dude, I think they bit a lot. With the second I saw Luke Skywalker standing there with a laser sword in front of a bunch of Imperial walkers. That is straight out of Dark Empire. That's how it starts. He faces down a walker on Coruscant. And then the whole plot of fucking the series is clone Emperor trying to resurrect himself by using Leia's kids.
Oh, okay.
Fucking the same plot. It's
same
like
fucking thing.
And he promises Luke an entire fleet of new destroyers. Some of them have world-ending capabilities and shit.
Speaking of walkers, when they were on Hideo Kojima there, whatever the fuck, the Kimchi.
It's Kimiji. I'm just pissing off every fan listening to this.
You
said it fucking wrong, man.
They say that's walkers, and you hear thump, thump, thump in the background. And I was like, oh, are they going to have like a cool chicken walker version come stumbling around the corner or something?
Yeah.
And it went nowhere. It went nowhere. And I remember seeing like a toy or something for chicken walkers in this movie. So I think that got cut.
They gotta sell something.
Every planet was just filled with fog. It pissed me off. It's like, you guys...
Or it was night.
Night and fog filled, so it's just...
Except for that forest planet, which I'm sure they shot all those scenes on one day.
But then they had to, because... I don't know what technique they used for 3D, so I don't know if every layer had to be shot separately and then composited afterwards, because... Did you see it in 3D or 2D?
Nah, I went 2D.
In 3D, that forest looked fake as shit. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it looks good in 2D. But I was getting real prequel vibes of, like, there's actors in front of a green screen.
Right.
And then fog everywhere.
Right.
Like, I was getting some prequel vibes.
So the group, Carson.
Okay, now are they all back together?
They're all back together, and they go to Kef Burr and find a wayfinder device.
These fucking names, man.
That's the name of, I think, the planet that the Death Star was on.
And so it was not the moon of Endor with Ewoks on it. It was another.
It was another planet
in
with an ocean on it.
So where did it crash? So I guess it blew up above the forest moon of Endor, but then drifted and crashed in a completely different planet. Even though planets are literally like, it would take hundreds of years for something to drift to the next planet over. It just happens.
These planets are real close.
Real close.
They're so close.
Their gravity, their tides must be insane. I guess they were big tides.
Yeah, they were big tides. There you go. Yeah.
So someone carved that blade after it crashed and said, okay, this crash will never change.
It took the blade and lined it up perfectly
with the shrapnel.
And so walk me through that. So that means Butthole Eyes had this dagger. He hid the holocron there in the Death Star, and that was his clue to whoever found the dagger.
Or did he know it was already there because it was there at the end of Jedi?
It would have been there at the end of Jedi. So obviously, fucking Palpatine hired him to be like, "Yo, go kill
and make a dagger that lines up with the wreckage,
so I can find it later.
So I can have someone else find it later."
Why was there a dagger?
I don't know.
I'm very upset about that.
I don't know. And why it's so weird that it lined up to wreckage in an ocean. You think 30 years of tides is going to kind of change the...
The Death Star is very strong material.
Very, very strong material.
Very strong material.
Jesus. And then Kylo Ren shows up and they flip and fight, and all in medium shots. It pissed me off. I was getting so sick of fucking medium shots in this movie. There's medium shot... And the lightsaber fights were horrible. Was Nick Park not available that day?
Yeah, they looked really awkward in parts.
They looked really... Because the lightsaber fight in Force Awakens is so cool, and then I think the lightsaber fight in Last Jedi looks horrible. So maybe it was the same damn guy. Possibly. One where you can see them swinging like inches away from their face and missing, but then they react. But they fight. Rey
after the fight is
so Rey kills Kylo Ren and then brings him back to life.
Him. Well, he's distracted by Leia using her dying breath.
Who then dies.
Who then force projects herself.
Yeah. Which
Rey uses an opportunity. That's like the galvanizing moment of that fucking movie.
Yeah.
You know? That's where it all really...
that's where
it all comes together, because she fucking goes to the dark side a bit.
Yeah.
He goes to the light side a bit.
Yeah.
And then she fucking dies.
But then they both end up with the light side, so...
But it's so... it was enough to get fucking old Harrison Ford back.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. Looking like a hobo?
For just a little... What I love is, you could say... You might as well have been like, hey, your mother couldn't be here, so I'm here instead.
She died. She wrote a lot about me in her tell-all novel. Did you read it?
You're not really here. You're a memory. No, I'm kind of like, yeah, sure, I'm a memory. Yeah. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, we can't say Force Ghost. That'll piss everyone.
Oh, exactly. I was like, it was clearly supposed to be like Carrie Fisher, I think. In that moment.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, awkward.
It was so weird.
You know what you have to do. And to revisit the face touch and everything, I'm like, you took a real sincere moment from that movie.
And then kind of fucked it.
Yeah.
And at that point, he stupidly throws his lightsaber away, because I don't remember at any point in these movies the lightsaber itself being representative of his dark side nature. And having a lightsaber would have been very advantageous for the final battle.
No, because he knew. He saw the future. He was like, Ray, just slip it behind your back.
He knows he has Leia's lightsaber.
Just put it behind your back.
And pop.
Wait, what do you mean pop? What are you popping at?
Yeah, the lightsabers puffed away and then showed up, because now you can transmit, you can beam things via the Force.
Yeah, you can put them behind your back.
And then poof, and it's in Kylo Ren's hand.
It's in his hand.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
They're smart for thinking of that.
Did you notice the two new lightsabers in this movie, Leia's and Rey's, both looked fucking horrible?
It looked like it looked like an ad for those build a lightsaber things
did.
at the park. Yeah. Especially Leia's. I was like, wow, look at all the accessories.
All the accessories. It looked like a Pandora lightsaber.
What was more uncomfortable, the Pandora lightsaber or de-age Luke?
It was so quick. I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah,
it was literally like he just lifted his mask and it cut.
Well, and also like, they were only lit by lightsabers in the dark, so they were like, "Please don't look too close at this.
Yeah.
Please don't look too closely."
Have a lot of time for this.
Did you just copy and paste Leia's face from Rogue One? Shut the fuck up. Okay, we're at the end. We're near.
We're getting into the end game here. We're now confronting.
So Leia fucking dies. Chris Carson
dies, and then they head to Leia. For some like
Rey's so bummed out she has to exile her.
She takes Kylo Ren's TIE fighter, goes to Ahch-To, and is sitting like an old drunk, just sitting there throwing shit at the
maybe she was trying to make the flames go higher. She's like, the gasoline in this thing isn't enough. I have to.
Just sitting throwing
She's
shit.
yelling at those little maids on the island, like, get me more shit to burn. They're like,
did we see those maids?
And they were like, shit, she's back.
Where did we see? We saw the porgs. Did we see the maids?
No, they were all dead.
This is like an ancient. That planet was the ancestral home of the Jedi. Right?
That's right.
So we got both Ancestral Home of the Jedi and Ancestral Home. They're both water planets, oddly enough.
The Force flows like the water.
Like water.
So there you go.
Like water out of a tap.
Look at you getting learned about the Force.
Yeah, learned about the Force. And then Luke shows up, and that's his famous, I was wrong. And that was
looking like the Lebowski. Apparently your hair grows as the Force goes.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
I think it's because he's working on Vikings, and he was like, shit, I'm getting a lot of money for this. I'm not cutting my hair for you guys. Sorry.
And they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it. Have you seen the rest of this movie? Fuck it.
That should have been Star Wars Episode 9.
Fuck it. No. Honestly, within the first 30 minutes, I'm like, so this is the game we're playing. Hey, JJ, I am in. Yeah. I want to see everything go badly. And whenever the Emperor started shocking the fleet out of the sky like it was an Avid video, it was amazing.
And those Sith troopers, the red stormtroopers, who had the design. Why do they have the design of the modern stormtroopers and not the original stormtroopers?
Oh, the Sith troopers? Because,
and wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I just have to jump in here for a second. The original stormtroopers were made by clones on Kamino.
Correct.
And it was an evolution of their armor because they wanted to sell toys. So why would Sith troopers share any resemblance to stormtroopers?
So what you don't know about Palpatine is that he's a fetishist for all that Sith material. That's why Darth Vader's costume it's
That every burn
it's
victim
not just
has.
life support. It's actually old Sith armor. It's based on old Sith armor. The stormtroopers.
Based on
I don't
old-
think I was bullshitting at first, but I actually now don't think I'm wrong because if you think about those Knights of the Old Republic games, there's always the Sith are always marching around with a bunch of TIE fighter looking kind of shit,
things, yeah.
and then a bunch of foot soldiers who kind of look like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just kind of a Sith thing. They're like, no, we based their image on like old Sith shit.
Sith shit. That would have been these movies. This has happened several times in podcasts we've done where it's like one line of dialogue would have
fixed all
everything.
of it,
If
yeah.
he just said like everything you see before you has been how we've made things for 1,000 years or something, like something.
Well, that's a bleak line,
right?
Like this has happened before, and we'll do it again. Like that's a really sad message. Such a sad message to go out on. It's like, oh shit, what's the point of any of this then?
I feel like it was supposed to be a lot sadder. I feel like the Falcon was supposed to be destroyed. I feel like it was supposed to be a little more of a melancholy.
I love how
ending.
the only sad beat was the fat guy from Lost died. It was
Yeah.
oh.
Oh wait, did you wait? Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna sound like a monster here or if people are gonna agree with me because it wasn't about the moment but the performance. I laughed my ass off at Chewie's emotional breakdown.
Oh, hilarious! They were like, listen, large Swedish guy, fucking, this is your Oscar moment.
Yeah.
Chewie's never gonna get a performance breaking moment. This is it, dude.
Oh, there was two things.
Did he start punching the X-Wing and
I
shit?
think he was like, "Arr!" He had like a bottle of Jack in his hand, but there was two things for Chewie because everyone complained that when Han died, Leia hugged Rey,
correct.
and Chewie just wandered off like, I don't fucking care. He was like my dog. I can get another one. Chewie didn't seem to care, and he didn't get a medal in Star Wars. So this movie has him break down over Leia dying. I guess he was fucking Leia. He didn't really care. Han was just a competition. And then he's like, this is for you finally. It's like, oh, this thing that happened like 40 years ago.
What? Who gave her? Did they say Leia left this for you?
Bud Eyes. I think it was Leia wanted you to have this. So why was Leia holding out?
Yeah, she could have given that to him like on
Anytime.
Hoth. Like,
Yeah.
yo, sorry, we had to get the fuck out of there,
sucks, I
but
know,
you
yeah.
totally deserve this.
No, it was just so much fan service.
Leia says it's kind of a dick move. You think Chewie would have been like, thanks.
Wait, really? That would be like if we lost an award for a movie we made, and then 40 years later they're like, here you go. What's the point of this? Why? What are you saying?
You gonna tell everybody? No, I'm just you right now.
Just okay.
Big ceremony, that fanfare,
Anything?
nothing. We've got the time. We've defeated the Empire.
Yeah, we got nothing but time.
You're
now.
just gonna slip this to me across the table? Thanks,
Yeah.
Maz.
Hey, what was going on the Ewok planet? They were looking up, watching shit get blowed up.
Well, so basically the writers got to the point where like, are we just going to do an Independence Day where if you hit the super laser, the whole thing blows up?
It's or the droids from episode 1.
But at least the droids was like, you have to fucking knock out the control ship. This was legit, straight up Independence Day. Hit the laser. That, for some reason, is the Achilles heel. It'll blow up the whole ship. But we have to do the Independence Day ending where we go to different planets and show Ewoks like dancing like the African children at the end of Independence Day.
That laser blowing up blew up the Sith fleet. The Sith fleet was off in the unknown regions.
Uh-huh.
That ship the Ewoks were looking at was just a First Order ship. Why the fuck would that be effective?
I thought they had the Emperor. Wasn't there a part right before the third act where he was just like, "I'm sending ships out, bitches"?
Okay.
Like, I think that there was a line where he was like, "I've got ships all over."
Well, that would
this
have
place."
been interesting visually to see all these ships approaching planets as a ticking clock, right? Wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yes, it very much would have.
Yes, it would have, Carson.
But it was so weird because now we have. It felt like the extended edition Jedi, where you're like, wait, why are we seeing? Why are we seeing all these planets? It doesn't matter because the focus is on our characters.
Honestly, when it cut to Cloud City, I was like, sure.
Why?
Once again, why not? Oh, this is Star Destroyer.
And then
I guess
Ewoks.
there's a reason to be here. Okay.
Weird looking Ewoks too.
They were terrifying.
and their big eyes.
They looked like Disney Park Ewoks.
Yeah.
They didn't look right.
I wonder how much of this was just dragged at a Disney park.
Similar thing happened on a recent episode of The Mandalorian where these 2 Tusken Raiders showed up. I'm like, were those store-bought costumes? Those look rough, man.
We got to do a Mandalorian follow-up at some point because I have things to say.
I think all the money went into the Beskar.
Yeah. No.
So they find
Beskar.
so fucking Rey gets the old pep talk from Luke Skywalker. He's like, use Red 5. Hop in my old X-Wing.
Yeah. The thing everyone was waiting for to happen in Last Jedi.
Of course it happens in this one.
So wait, and now again, if that ship was flyable, why didn't he do that in the last movie? Why did he have to project himself? Oh, God. It's fan service.
Maybe it's because he didn't. I go with he didn't want to be. He just didn't want to be there. He was like, "Hey, Kylo Ren, fuck you. I'm gonna kill myself with a final fuck you. I'm like, help my friends escape. I know it's suicide. I don't give a shit." You ever heard the theory about him killing himself?
Who?
Luke.
Oh, that he wanted to die there.
Here's my theory. So whenever he shows up on the planet, Rey shows up at the end of Force Awakens. He's in that white robe. Cut to Last Jedi, and that moment he chucks the lightsaber.
He goes and just changes into his hobo gear.
His hobo gear, and he wears that for the remainder of the film until she leaves. Then he puts that white Jedi robe on again.
Yeah.
JJ said that's a funeral robe.
Oh, he was just about to chuck himself.
So whenever Rey gets there, he's about to kill himself. Then she shows up, and he's like, one more fight, and he's like, fuck this, I don't want to do it. She bugs him for a couple of days, and eventually when she tells him to fuck off, he puts the robe on again, because he's going to kill himself. He's walking into the Jedi tree with a fucking torch.
That makes...
And he's like, I'm bringing it all to an end. He's
Luke even worse of a
I know.
character.
Oh, I know.
The one,
so
the
then,
symbol of hope.
He sees his opportunity. He's like, I can tell Kylo Ren to fuck himself and kill myself at the same time.
That is, it is, yeah.
That's what it is.
If you want to kill yourself, find a way to be a hero.
He's in that white robe as he does it.
Yeah.
I think I just unlocked a new level of this fucking trilogy, bitch.
I like that. That's like a manic depressive waiting for a kid to cross on a red light and just waiting. It's like, I want to go out as a hero, man, but I gotta go out.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like, I will be the one to dive and help him, and I will be a hero who gets hit by the subway.
Yes. And then that's it.
There you go.
Really?
There you go.
Like the big fight at the end where Kylo went good, he runs back in, and then
we find out you can drop a lightsaber behind your back and slip it to your brother.
So there's force beaming.
Beaming now. Yep. Force beaming.
That's
Leia
funny.
doesn't know how to fucking add any subtleties to the design of a lightsaber, but that's fine.
No.
That's fine.
It's very bejeweled.
Very bejeweled.
It really made me chuckle because the Rise of Skywalker name is still the title is a little convoluted. I'm not entirely sure what they mean. Do they mean Rey taking the name Skywalker at the end? Do they mean Ben coming back to the light side? It's a little convoluted. But I thought it was going to be really on the nose at the point when the Emperor says, "Now you will fall, Skywalker, the way I fell," and boom, and flicked him off the cliff. And I was like, oh, he's literally going to rise up and like fight him at the end.
Well, also, can you say the same thing about Return of the Jedi? Yeah, it's about Anakin turning back to the good side, but it's also Luke starting a new Jedi Order.
It's the return of the concept of the Jedi.
Yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker. The names are horrible.
They're not great, this trilogy. They're a little lackluster. I'll take Attack of the Clones any day over fucking.
I remember how
The
bad
Rise
that
of Skywalker.
title sounded as a kid, but now it's like, that seems fine.
It suited the movie. It's goofy as fuck, and I love that movie for being how stupid it is.
Well, that's the thing about those titles. They suit the movie that they're a title for, and they fit the larger picture.
Yep.
These ones, you can argue that they fit the movie that they're attached to. The Last Jedi, kind of, even though it seems there's Force-sensitive people fucking everywhere.
Kid with the broom.
Yeah,
where were you?
Kid with the broom, yeah.
You could have used your help, broom kid, in that fucking finale. What a jerk off.
I guess it's the Order, the way the Jedi teach the Force, whatever. But as a whole, they don't make any sense linked to each other. It's really, really, really lazy, I guess.
So Rey goes to fucking the Sith Palace. She tells the Resistance, "You get your asses here. We're going to take on this fleet. You're 7 ships against 90 Star Destroyers."
Oh, yeah, and then what happens? When they're like, no one came, we're all going to die, on your left.
Once again, it's because he's black,
On your left.
They're like, you gotta get the black sidekick to fucking to end game this shit.
Yeah.
And then the world shows up, the galaxy.
Whole galaxy shows up.
I think that makes a little bit of sense in the sense that Palpatine waved his big fucking Imperial dick around, being like,
no.
"I'm gonna fucking come back," and everyone's like, "Nah, not again, dude."
I get it's thematic to our current time that we're living in.
Yeah.
Like we all need to stand up to the shit that's happening.
Yes.
But also at the same time, when you look at it, I don't know, because look at the whole galaxy. 1,000 generations of peace. 22 years of an empire. 30 years of peace and trying to rebuild back into the old republic that it once was, and then 2 years of like a fascist hidden group coming out and blowing up the Washington D.C.
Yeah, sure.
And then during that process, the Emperor goes, "Hey, I'm also here. Hello, I'm gonna kill all of you." and then everyone comes and kills him. That's the Star Wars legacy.
Yeah.
Do you think not at that point people will be like, I don't fucking care? Like the average person would be like, I don't know, or what are we in war? What are we doing here? I don't know.
That Palpatine.
Orlando said so though.
Palpatine's just an attention whore. He loves it. He's like, you know who he is? He's that kid at the table who just won't sit the fuck down.
He won't just stop.
He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna wipe out all the Jedi. Palpatine.
Yeah.
Just sit the fuck down. I'm gonna come back in a fucking zombie.
I'd like to think that entire fleet was comprised entirely and solely of Lando's exes. That's how he got them.
It's because he's black.
It's because he's Lando fucking Calrissian.
I see how it is.
Didn't they say he was pansexual in the
Solo
movie?
Yeah, he be fucking that droid. He was fucking the Phoebe Waller bridge droid. He fucks everything.
He's trying to fuck the chick at the end of this movie. He's Lando Calrissian. He fucks everything.
I'm just gonna go with because he's fucking black. So he's got to play into that 70s stereotype of like, hey, how's it going?
All right, Disney.
I'm fucking everything. I'm just cool. Nothing sexual about my outgoing demeanor whatsoever.
What have we here?
Why do you have a cane? I need it to walk, you son of a bitch.
All right, Disney. Trying to make everything about something
they gave
controversial.
Me so much cocaine.
So much. And so much money.
So much.
Disney just dumped back to
no money, just cocaine.
I was saying this after the movie too, where it's like progressive ideologies in Disney movies. Like you all realize that if like Nazis start spending a lot of money at the box office, there's gonna be a lot of pro-Nazi movies like that. Like they don't give a fuck. They just care where the money's at.
Okay, so they're in a big old battle, right? The Resistance on your left. The Alliance shows up, and Palpatine electrocutes a fleet out of the sky.
Yeah.
And
unlimited power.
Fleet. So he does this by sucking some life force out of the two of them, out of Ben. Mm-hmm. The now Ben Solo.
And it rejuvenates him, which again begs the question of what this fucking husk is. Is it the original Emperor? Is it a clone that just fell down some stairs? Got his finger cut off by the Mafia? Like, what the fuck is this thing?
This guy, he's
all mechanical. He's attached to a machine.
Yeah, you know.
What the fuck is this guy?
Well, he saw Akira, and he was like, "Goddamn, that cyborg shit looks cool." So I'm gonna hook myself up to this giant fucking rig that hangs from the ceiling. I didn't really get the physics of what was going on there.
I'll make you a bet right now that there is a comic either already published or being published that's going to explain how some Ugnaught found his body at the bottom of the pit and dragged it out and.
Or like
fixed him or something.
Like he fucking grabs a Ugnaught's face and sucks his life force out.
Yeah, like
or
someone sees him. Yeah, he sucks it out, and just enough to. Oh, and it's just the reverse shot of all the light coming back into the pit. He wakes up. But then that's it. Kylo and Rey killed the Emperor. Rey kills the Emperor and dies from the effort. She lost the will to live.
I did like the callback shot of him holding Rey. Looked exactly like Anakin holding his mom in Attack of the Clones.
But why did Rey, other than to get us to facilitate the scene of Kylo using the Force to give her his life force, other than to facilitate that scene, it was like a Padme lost the will to live thing. Like, why the fuck? She was just holding lightsabers. Why did she just drop dead?
Dude, you know how hard it is to fucking
hold lightsabers?
Lightning, yeah. And even Sam Jackson couldn't. He just melted that dude's face. She blew his fucking head off.
But wouldn't that would have made sense if they'd done the thing of the lightsabers get knocked out and that's her own power.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
And then it would have drawn from her and would have killed her. But
Leia's lightsaber design killed her. That's what I'm trying to say. It was all fucking bejeweled and uncomfortable, and Rey was like, "This is absurd."
I'm pretty sure that was Leia's dildo, man. I don't think that was her lightsaber
That's
at all.
Unfortunate. I think your brother would want you to have this. Why did you have it next to your bed? That's fucking terrifying.
No reason.
What is wrong with this family? Who are you? Rey Solo.
Yeah. No Rey Skywalker. And so I do think there is a familiar connection between her and Kylo, and it stayed true to the incestuous nature of Star Wars. Because the Emperor kind of made both of them in a roundabout way.
I was getting fucking some Game of Thrones vibe when they were looking at a throne and then her boyfriend in black came in to save her and shit, and then she blows the throne away. I was like, ooh... Careful.
Like, dragon should have just jumped in and anger burnt it. Yeah.
No, those Korra Ratama guys just fucking jump on the throne.
That would have been so great if that was like his choir, quote unquote. Yeah. And they were all just going, Korra.
Yeah.
just repeating the Sith language. That
They're like,
so
do we
cool.
stay? There's an entire fleet above us. Are we gonna die?
Do you need any help down there? No?
We're just trained in vocal arts. We don't... He's still not listening.
There's a lot of us. We could just rush these guys. I think we should... Oh, there's a pillar.
That's right. So it implodes. For some reason, the whole thing collapses when he dies.
He dies.
It goes all Indiana Jones.
And it releases that Sith orgasm from Jedi, but like times 1,000. Blah, it shoots everywhere. And I guess that's what kills Rey, I guess.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Some dark side. She's just so close to it. Shit.
Smacks her down, yeah.
Yeah, sure, okay.
And then the Jedi have finished filling her up, and so... But then Kylo comes in, saves her life, and she's refilled.
Yeah, he trades his life force. He sacrifices. Everyone fucking knew had to happen in some way, shape, or form. That dude I called it. And I'm not that clever.
Well, Star Wars is always about redemption. I mean,
exactly.
That's what it's about.
About sacrifice and fucking bullshit.
And fucking bullshit.
Oh, God. So he transfers his life force into Rey, and she lives.
And she wakes up, starts smooching him.
And they kiss.
And
he dies.
And disappears. He ghosts out.
At which point Leia ghosts out.
Yeah, so I guess they were tethered in some fashion. In
some weird way.
May have been
so
mentioned
no
in
one was tethered to poor Qui-Gon? No one gave a fuck about him?
No, there's some random Jedi disappeared off screen somewhere.
Yeah, because I noticed when I was watching that battle scene in Attack of the Clones, there's no Jedi on the ground. Like,
they all just died.
Yeah, so they disappear.
Well, no... Oh, do you think so?
There's no corpses on the floor of the Geonosis floor. It's just
battle droids. Remember, Obi-Wan reaches over at one point and like tests the pulse of one of them and stands back up. There's because there is the whole awkward line in Revenge of the Sith of Yoda being like, learned to go to the blah 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 blah, and Qui-Gon doesn't disappear either. He's burnt to death.
Yeah, no, he has a fucking Viking funeral.
I imagine that's more of a budgetary thing than an intentional thing, because there is a point where
there's one dude
where Obi-Wan's feeling the pulse of one of the dead Jedi.
I don't see battle droids. Oh, I guess there's one. There's literally a dude.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not tethered to nobody. No one likes that guy.
Maybe none of this makes sense. And maybe midi-chlorians would have tied it all together. But we gave up on his draft for the next 3 films, on George's draft.
So then that's it, man. Let's get out the Tatooine.
Cut to credits.
No, we had the Tatooine.
Oh,
she fucking bears that lightsaber.
Force buries the lightsabers.
That's right.
And then has her own yellow lightsaber.
At the end of the staff and shit.
Was it at the end of the staff?
Yeah, I think so. It's supposed to be. I thought it was. In my memory, it was, but maybe she pulled it out of a case.
I think she pulls it out because I remember seeing the bottom of it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
It was chunky. It looked a little too big for her hand.
It looks like the staff. Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And then it had that kind of like twist cap ignition thing. It was a little thing that went and she turned it and it set off. But why yellow? Wouldn't, if anything, it be like somewhere between blue and red?
Like a purple one?
Like a purple one, like Sammy J?
That would be kind of cool. But then people would have been like, why'd you get Sam Jackson's lightsabers? Why did she have Sam Jackson's?
True.
It's like, fine, opposite. We'll make it yellow.
True.
It will be the Morris Day to Sam Jackson's Purple Rain.
Can I say one unrelated thing but about lightsabers that I always thought would be cool? Is, wouldn't it have been neat if everyone starts off with a blue lightsaber? Because I don't like green lightsabers too much. They just remind me of like nuclear waste rods a little bit. But everyone starts off with a blue lightsaber, and the more blood you spill stains it.
Oh my god.
So that to have a red lightsaber means you're fucking evil. Right. You have killed a lot of people that have stained the purity of that crystal, of that kyber crystal, that blue lightsaber.
So wait, you telling me that when the blades extend, these stains just reappear where they were originally?
Yeah, because it's almost like a corruption
Or
thing.
does it, like, the blood just... What's the word I'm looking for? Dilute into the blade itself.
I think of more like the way...
think of it this way. So I'm getting fucked up. So, like, the blood would go into the fucking beam and kind of get saturated in this. When you sucked it back in, you get out blood shards into the it gets slowly crystal? More red.
Well, I was just thinking...
fucked up, Chris Carson.
If a lightsaber can call to someone, like Excalibur calling to King Arthur, like in The Force Awakens, Luke's called to Rey.
Yeah.
Then there's a consciousness to a degree to this thing. So I like the idea that it's being corrupted. It's just the crystals being corrupted by causing death.
Right.
And so like you see a Jedi with sort of like a light red, like almost like a hue of pink to their lightsaber. You're like, oh fuck it, you better be careful, buddy. You might be on a dangerous path right now. And then by the time it gets blood red, you are evil as shit.
Could you clean it?
No, it's corrupted.
But then how are Jedi supposed to kill people?
I don't think that. I think the point is that they're not supposed to kill people. They're all about defense.
Nah, they kill lots of people. You didn't watch those movies, right?
No, they kill a lot of robots, and I guess they kill a lot of clones.
Yeah,
but George Lucas always said that the lightsaber was meant for a defense in a world of laser beams. Right. So I thought that would be a neat concept. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe a lot of Jedi do. That's the thing. They're like, okay,
it's their favorite thing. That part in Attack
of the I need to stop being a Jedi now. You know.
I was watching Attack of the Clones, and that giant crab comes at fucking Obi-Wan, and he, when he's first fighting it, he's dodging it, trying to like get away from it. But when he gets his lightsaber, he gives it this fuck you look, and he just slashes its claws off and like kills it. I'm like, that wasn't Jedi-like. Yeah. Oh my god!
Can you just mind tricked it?
Yeah,
to go off in a corner and lay down.
But it didn't have that cool fucking Ewan McGregor hair flip, so we fucking had to murder the thing.
Jedi mullet.
Holy shit!
All right. Let's wrap this fucker up.
And she fucking Ray Skywalker's out. Man.
Yeah, some random person comes up. They're at the Lars farm, and it's all covered in sand. She buries the lightsaber, and then someone
slides down the hill she could have easily walked down.
She's giggling. She does it.
Yep.
And who are you, Ray? And then she looks over, and the ghost of Luke and Leia appear. Not Ben. Fuck Ben. Not any other Jedi either. Not Yoda. Not Luke. Or I'm sorry, not Luke, not Luke, not Qui-Gon, not anyone else, not the old Obi-Wan.
I think Ben would have been the only one I would have. Now that you said it, is the only one I'm like, yeah, he should have been there.
He should have been there. Yeah. That would have made sense. Which makes me feel
because again, it's like the end of Jedi. He's redeemed. And there he is.
But it also feels like they had so many endings, and they were Frankensteining this thing together. They had to play the safe route because they weren't sure. I guarantee there was a cut where Rey fell to the dark side or died, and Ben survived. It had to be. They were shopping all these endings around, so they were like, okay, we'll just keep these two in because we know they'll show up. Disney.
And the last shot's her walking the twin sunsets, and that's it.
And then the twin sunsets, and it plays the binary sunset theme, and that's literally it for the Skywalker Saga. And now we're probably going to get some Old Republic trilogy or whatever the fuck comes next. Who knows? But that's it for.
As long as there's baby Yodas in it,
just an army of baby
it'll be
Yodas.
fine.
That's it.
Oh my god,
baby Yoda.
Get ready for that, baby.
Baby Yoda. Let's just say, happy holidays to everybody.
I hope you get a baby Yoda.
Everyone's gonna get a fucking baby Yoda, probably one like from Swarovski, covered in crystals or some shit. But to happy holidays to everyone. We're gonna probably not be back till the new year. Honestly, it's gonna be a shit show between now and the New Year's.
Oh my ass.
Yeah, I'm gonna be crazy until then. I don't know what are you going back to Cornwall? Are you sticking around here?
Gonna be going to Cornwall. I leave like late the 23rd, and then I get back like 27th. I get like 4 days off.
27th.
But I got a new nephew.
Oh yeah. Well, I think I saw the photo on Facebook. Yeah. I think I never go on Facebook anymore. I just randomly do, and I think maybe it was Instagram that I saw.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
I'm a second uncle.
You didn't do anything, but
I didn't do shit. But it's kind of fun that people are like, congrats. I'm like, I just.
Yeah. Congratulations to your sister if you're listening. Congratulations.
They Yeah, I'm just excited to see because Zeke's 3 now, and he's got such a good personality. I'm going to be interested to see how he interacts with his little brother, with the brother dynamic. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, this could go either way.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
We'll see. But, so thanks. As an end-of-year thing, because this is probably the last you're going to be listening to us in 2019. Just want to say...
Are we going to die?
We're going to die. I just want to say to everyone who listens to us.
Christ.
Show a little appreciation for the few people that tune into our sad little show, and we'll see you.
I think it's a fun time. It was as fun as the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, it was fun. It was just a mishmash of insanity and awkward.
Not bad for one lesson. Remember that because he rode a horse in the other one.
Oh,
fuck!
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah.
Remember that Conehead droid?
That was another funny moment.
Man,
they didn't even talk about the abused Conehead droid. We'll talk about that in the future. But my favorite bit, I think, ultimately was Rose being like, "I'm needed elsewhere," and then Poochie returned to his home planet, and like Rose just lifted out of the frame.
It's like literally like, I don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
I didn't make you.
Yeah.
I didn't write your character.
You're kind of a horrible character. No offense to you, but your character really sucks.
If I treat your character badly, they'll crucify me on the internet.
So
I don't want to give fuel to a bunch of toxic fanboys.
Just stand up here. I'm sorry. I still hope we make money in China.
Right? And there, you see, it's like bombing in China.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
If we were still in the old podcast right now, I'd burst in the Star Wars theme, but we can't use any copyrighted music anymore. So in your head, just start imagining us saying goodbye to. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, she's a brick. Dun, 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 house. Dun, 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 dun.